Hello my yogi friends, and thank you so much for joining me for today's beginner yoga. So this one is perfect for everyone who has never done any yoga before. We're going to move very slow and gentle through a couple of basic postures, or for everyone who feels like they need a little bit of a refresh of their beginner's mind. It's always sometimes nice to tune back into this basic understanding basically. Well, jump on your mat with me and we're gonna get started. So we will start in a cross-leg position, and as always with this, feel free to put anything underneath your buttocks. So for some, just simply sitting cross-legged on the ground can be quite heavy on the hips and knees. So it's completely fine here to put like a cushion or blanket or yoga block or anything underneath the buttocks, just to sit a little bit higher and support the hips in this pose. Because we really want to sit straight, and if we already struggle a little bit with our hips, we tend to round a little bit back and lean back. So we really want to find this length through the spine. So snuggle your way into your perfect seated pose. If cross-leg doesn't suit you at all for your knees, feel free to even have the legs stretched out in front. And then we're going to bring the hands onto the knees. Find this extra length through the spine, so really growing a couple of centimeters taller through the crown of the head. And then relax the shoulders back and down, snuggle them together, lengthen through the back of the neck, tuck the chin towards the chest. And then you can either close your eyes here, or you can leave the gaze soft slightly in front of you if that suits you a little bit better. So once the eyes are closed or the eyelids are soft, take another moment here to really lengthen through the spine and relax the shoulders down away from the ears. Then take an inhalation into the nose and a big exhale out through the mouth. A big sigh, releasing any tension here. So this is usually the hardest part, finding our way onto the mat. So you're here, so now we're going to enjoy. So just keep breathing and see if you can start to breathe deeper. You might even begin to observe here any kind of sensations around your breath. You might feel this little rising of the chest when you inhale, and this softening of the chest when you exhale. Maybe even exploring here with breathing a bit further down, breathing into the belly. So this can be quite difficult in case we've never done this before. Maybe give it a try. Breathing into the belly or the chest and feeling this rising of the skin of the front of the body with every inhalation, and this kind of grounding feeling with the exhalation, softening the shoulders further, getting heavier through the hips. So the exhalation really has this grounding effect of the body. So take 2 more rounds of breath here, feeling how the inhalation almost lifts you up further towards the ceiling. Lengthen the spine more. Exhalation lets you ground further down, softening almost. Inhale to lift and lengthen. Exhale to ground. And from here we just slightly blink open the eyes and we find our way into a tabletop position. So swing your legs around, coming into tabletop. And we straight away move into a child's pose. So we bring the knees wide, big toes are touching, we bring the buttocks towards the heels. There's always the option to pop something in between sitting bones and heels in case there's quite a big gap. And then we walk the fingertips forward and rest the forehead either on the ground or on a little prop, maybe a block here as well, in case you can't quite reach the ground. And then soften here. So child's pose is one of our resting postures. So whenever you feel out of breath doing the class, or you feel like a little moment of rest or pause, just come back into this posture. Our little relaxation safe haven. Such an awesome stretcher for the hips and the lower back. You can even crawl the fingertips even further forward for an extra stretch here in the side of the body, in the waist. One of my favorites here is to rock the head from left to right, giving the forehead a nice massage. And you can really feel this big stretch here in the lower back and the hips. Such a nice, gentle, but deep stretch, basically. And we really always try to connect our movement with our breath. And if we're in those more still postures, we try to guide the breath into some special spots, basically, in the body. So here it's really nice to breathe into the lower back or in between the shoulder blades, just to support the stretch, the sensation. So take one more big breath here. And then slowly bring the gaze back up, and we find our way back up into tabletop. We realign the knees underneath the hips. Hands are right underneath the shoulders. So we're really spread through the fingertips and slightly pressing into the fingertips. So we're supporting our wrists here, and have a little bend in your elbows as well. So we're not just stacking the bones, we're really engaging. And then super important here is that we press away from the mat. So we tend to hang down here in our shoulders. So just having this little curve between the shoulders basically. But we really want to press up and lift through the space in between the shoulder blades. So almost hollowing through the front of the body, the front of the chest. You can slightly press into the tops of the feet as well here. Might feel a switching on of the core muscles when you do so. And then moving into a cat-cow posture, which means on an inhalation we drop the belly down. The heart shines forward, the gaze comes forward, not too far up, we don't want to crunch the neck here. And then exhale, we tuck the tailbone under and like a little wave through the spine, press away from the mat, chin to chest, big stretcher for the back of the body. And just keep it moving with your own breath. Maintain your little bend in your elbows. Inhale, stretching the front. Exhale, rounding into our cat pose. And like I said, we really want to match breath with movement. So you can go as quick or as slow as the pace of your breath is. But always remembering the foundation here, pressing into the fingertips, into the tops of the feet. Make sure you get a big stretch in your neck as well. Maybe time for a little smile here. Awesome. Warming up our hips and our shoulders and the spine, obviously. So let's slowly come back into the center. And we're going to walk the fingertips a little bit further forward and walk the knees slightly back and together, coming into a low plank. So we're still pressing into the tops of the feet here. Hands are still kind of underneath the shoulders. We tuck the tailbone under to engage the core. And with a big exhale, we're going to slowly start to lower down onto the ground. But really take your time here. So super slow exhalation. Take your time. Elbows stay close to the body. Going to come down onto the ground. And this time we press into the hips. Hands are right underneath the shoulders. And then inhale, we're lifting into a baby cobra. So there's basically no weight at all here in your fingertips. So you should be able to lift the hands. The strength really comes out of the back body. Keep pressing into the hips just to support the lower back. And exhale, we lower back down and swing the fingertips around. Let them point behind. And they're pointing down towards the ground. Relax the shoulders away from the ears Again, we press into the hips, go into a little bit of a deeper back bend here. Start to lift once again. And maybe this time we're gonna lift the feet as well. Coming into our locust posture. So the gaze is still down, we're not looking up. No crunching in the neck. So you should be super, super long through the back of the neck. Keep reaching through the crown of the head and the toes. Keep pressing into the hips. Big engagement here for the whole back of the body. One more big breath. And then we release everything down. Bring the hands underneath the forehead and bring the hips slightly left to right. Just to release any tension that might have built up in the lower back. Then walk the fingertips back underneath the shoulders. We tuck the toes under. And with our elbows close to the body, we press back into a tabletop. Just to bring a bit of width in between the knees. And slightly rotate the elbow creases forward here. So basically thumb and index finger are pointing forward. Elbow creases are rotating forward. Our toes are tucked under. And we're going to snuggle our way into our first downward facing dog. So start to lift the knees, lift the hips. And we're going to lengthen through the spine. And we have still this ginormous bend in our knees. So you might have seen those downward facing dog postures or pictures on social media or I don't know, anywhere where people just have the heels on the ground and super straight legs, and yeah, that's not us today. That's only if you're one of those hyper flexible persons. Feel free to go there. Otherwise, we really want to have this big bend in your knees because we want to find the length from the fingertips along the arms, shoulders, right into the sitting bones. So super, super long spine here, rather than having to compromise by having the heels down and then rounding through the spine. So really lifting through the sitting bones. Almost feeling as if we're trying to reach the sitting bones even further towards the back corner of the ceiling here. Then relax the head, maybe give it a little shake of yes or no. Make sure your ears are in line with the upper arm bones. So heaps of people have the head a little bit further down, then we're just hanging down on our shoulders, but we want to have strong shoulders. So head comes up, shoulders are strong, slightly rotating the shoulder blades around the armpits here. Then keep breathing. One more inhale to really lengthen through the spine. And then gaze comes slowly forward and we make our way to the front of the mat. Take your time here, walking forward, moving into a forward fold. So big bend in your knees again. Relax the hands down, relax the head down. So chin to chest. And you might already feel this ginormous stretch in the back of the legs, but also nice release in the lower back, in the shoulders, in the back of the neck. So awesome posture here in case you're quite sore in your neck. You can even use your hands as a little net to slightly press the chin further towards the chest if you want to go deeper into the neck stretch. Otherwise we just hang out here enjoying this beautiful leg stretch. And then slowly on the next inhale, we're going to come up halfway into a halfway lift. And you can have your hands on your chins here. I've got pretty long arms, so for me that's enough to come into a little table-like position. Or you can come onto your kneecaps or onto the thighs. Want to remember here, super long neck once again, so we're not looking up. We're looking down and really have this flat neck basically, and the flat back as well. So we're almost like a table. Engage the core here, it's what's holding us up here. And then bend your knees once again. We fold back forward just to press into the feet and start to peel up one vertebrae at a time. Oh, take your time here. Super, 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 super slowly coming up into our first mountain pose. So we have the feet right underneath the hips and we spread the toes here. So lift the toes up and then put them down one at a time. Little bend in your knees so we engage the quadriceps. We tuck the tailbone under so we engage the core. The shoulders relax back and down to snuggle them together, and you can have the palms open towards the front to support this little opening of the chest. Once again, the neck is long. So we're basically just standing, but the whole body is engaged. So the spine is super long. We've got engagement in the legs. We're grounding through the feet. We even have engagement in the fingertips. So spread your fingers here. Snuggle the shoulders down. Lengthen through the crown of the head. So everything is engaged here. This is basically how we should always stand, and not in our little slumpy posture we usually do. One more big breath here. And from here, we take the hands onto the hips and take a big step back with the left foot moving into a warrior one. So we have quite a bit of space or room in between the feet, not only this way, also this way basically. So we're like on train tracks. Have a subtle bend here in the front of the knee, or in the front knee, making sure the right knee isn't further forward than the right ankle. So you should always be able to see your big toes of your right foot. We rotate the hips forward, we tuck the tailbone under, and then big inhale here. We're going to reach the fingertips up, and we're going to leave them wide for now because that's a bit more gentle. On the shoulders, imagining you're holding a little beach ball above the head. You're on the beach, wanting to throw it to your friend. Relax the shoulders down. Keep pressing into the outside edge of the left foot. Keep pressing into the ball of the right foot. Maybe lifting a bit more through the chest, but keep the tailbone tucked under. So we're not going into too big of a back bend here. We still have this big engagement in the core. And then if you want to challenge your balance, you can look up for 2 big breaths here. Really trusting into the strength of your legs. Super, super strong warrior one. One more big inhale, big exhalation, and then the gaze comes back forward, and we're going to open up to warrior two. So we're going to spread the fingertips wide and wiggle the left foot in line with the right foot. So for our warrior two, we have the front foot right in line with the inner arch of the back foot. So no more train tracks here. Bending once again into the right knee, pressing into the outside edge of the left foot. Again, making sure we can still see the right big toe. And then checking what's happening here in our knee. Is it falling in, and can we press it slightly out towards the right side? Fingertips are in line with the shoulders. We relax the shoulders down. We're growing a little bit taller through the spine here. And the gaze can come over the right fingertips. Big breath. Keep pressing into the feet. You might even feel this little lift through the inner arch of the left foot. Moving along the calf, the left inner thigh. Beautiful, beautiful lifting here while we're also grounding into the feet. This time here the option for the last 2 breaths to maybe close your eyes if you're trusting in your legs. Keep breathing, super, super strong. One more big breath. And then relax the fingertips down. We turn the right toes in, left toes out, and start with our warrior one once again. Bringing this bit of space here in between the feet, bending into the front knee, wiggling the hips towards the left side of the mat. And once we're ready, inhale, fingertips up. Exhale, relax the shoulders, fingertips are wide, remembering our little beach ball. We're tucking the tailbone under. Maybe chin to chest here to start with, remembering our long neck. Pressing into the right foot, pressing into the ball of the left foot. Relax the shoulders down. So we don't want to create any more tension here. in the shoulders or neck. And then for the last 2 breaths here, we might gaze up towards the ceiling, towards the fingertips. Breathing into the chest, into the front of the heart. Super strong warrior, you can do this. And last inhale here. And exhale, we wiggle the fingertips down by your side and start to wiggle some more space in between the feet and the back foot in line with the front foot. So front foot in line with the inner arch of the back foot. Fingertips come up. Relax the shoulders. Checking that we can still see our left big toe. Maybe moving the left knee a bit further out towards the left to open up further through the hips. Enjoying this big engagement of the whole body. So you can feel your legs. You can feel the core by slightly tucking the tailbone under. You can feel the shoulders, the strength in your arms. The gaze can come over the left fingertips here. Keep lengthening on every inhalation further through the crown of the head. On the exhalation, ground more into your feet. So basically like we did in our little breathing technique in the beginning, the inhalation lifts and lengthens. The exhalation lets us ground deeper. And for the last 2 breaths, eventually we're going to close the eyes here. Beautiful, beautiful, strong posture. So the warrior postures aren't only engaging here for the body, but they're also strengthening for the mind, because they really make us feel strong. Fierce, strong warriors that we are, ready to conquer the day. Open up your eyes in case they are still closed. And then super fancy move here for a beginner's class. We're gonna cartwheel the fingertips down. I know, oh my God, what's she doing? We're cartwheeling them down. We're turning the right toes towards the front. And then a super big step here back with the left foot back into our downward facing dog. And you can lift the heel one at a time, bend the knees a bit more, shimmy the hips left to right. Awesome little release after a longer standing posture. Make sure you're still grounding through the palms, so we're not lifting through the root of the index finger. And then find stillness. One more big breath here. Here, starting to lift the heels, and we take our time super, super slow. Lower down onto the knees. And we're gonna wiggle the feet out to the side, coming into a seat. So bring your legs forward, and with our seated posture, there's always the option as well to bring something underneath the buttocks here. So if you used a blanket before, or a cushion or bolster or pillow, too many options, just pop it underneath here as well if you like, just to support this folding forward, because we're going to move into a forward fold, obviously, but we're also going to start with a big bend here in our knees. So chances are we really tighten our back of the legs and our hamstrings, so take a big ginormous bend here in your knees to start with. We're going to peel the toes towards the ceiling, so there's a bit of engagement in the feet. We lengthen through the spine, bring the fingertips next to your feet, and then on exhalation we start to hinge forward from the hips. So you can even use your fingers here first on your hips to really feel this hinging forward from the hips. So we're not rounding forward, so that's not what we want, because that puts a little bit of pressure here on the lower back. We want to find this hinging forward, because this keeps the lower back nice and long. That's why we bend the knees, because it's easier to hinge when the knees are bent. And then just find your edge. You might just be here, that's completely fine. We all have to start somewhere, or you might be here, or if you're really flexible even in your legs, you can grab hold of your toes and relax forward. Or if you're super flexible, maybe your legs are straight and your forehead is on your chins here. So doesn't really matter. No matter where we're at here today, we're still doing something for our body. So even if we're here, we're already stretching, and that's already awesome. Every kind of movement, every kind of stretch and strengthening is good for the body. When we do it in a mindful way. Keep breathing, lengthening on the inhale, maybe softening further on the exhale. You can tuck your chin towards your chest here as well, getting another big stretch here in the back of the neck. So good. One of my favorites here. One more inhale. And then we slowly walk back up on the exhalation. And we're going to start to bend the right knee just a little bit. So the right foot is next to the left calf. And we still have our engagement here in the left foot. And we come into a last little twist. So once again, inhale to lengthen, and then exhale, we're going to twist over to the right. So you can bring your right hand behind, and you can hook your left hand around your calf here or around your thigh. And this is where you might have to adjust the leg. So if the leg is too far in and you have to lean back to come into the twist, that's a bit too far, then just cradle the foot a bit further forward so you can really lengthen and stay straight through the spine. Might feel nice to bring the gaze over the right shoulder here. Make sure you relax the shoulders away from the ears. Awesome little twist. Not only great for the internal organs, also a little stretch here for the hips as well. And then we slowly come back into the center, changing sides to extend the right leg, engage the right toes. Snuggle the left knee up and then lengthen, and we twist over to the left. Again, checking you're still straight and you're not leaning back. Maybe creating more space by wiggling the knee further away. Soften through the shoulders. And then maybe the gaze comes over the left shoulder. And really keep breathing here into the belly. You can always go a bit deeper by using your right arm here to slightly twist you around. But it's completely fine if you don't want to go too far here in this beginner class. So one more big breath. And then the gaze comes forward. We release. And we're gonna come onto our backs. You're in for a treat. We're almost going into our first Shavasana, not yet. So come lay down, and we're gonna bring the soles of the feet together for our last posture. Here is Reclined Baddha Konasana. So soles of the feet are together and the knees are wide. This can be quite intense if you're doing this for the first time. It's a big stretcher for the groin, the inner thighs, the hips. So feel free to prop something underneath the knees or the thighs here. Otherwise, we're just enjoying this awesome stretch. And you can have your hands on your belly, maybe practicing this belly breathing that I mentioned at the beginning of the class, breathing here into your palms. Awesome, last little stretch. And you can even close your eyes already. You did awesome. So now snuggle the fingertips underneath the thighs, bring the knees back together, and we give them a last little hug. Peel the nose up towards the knees, big stretch here. And then extend everything. Bring your arms by your side, extend the legs long. And like I said, you're in for a treat. Your first Shavasana maybe here. Snuggle the shoulders away from the ears. You can close your eyes or leave the gaze soft and wiggle the toes, wiggle the fingertips. Big exhale here, completely surrender down into the ground. So this is basically the part of the class where we're giving the body some time to implement all those beautiful benefits we create with our yoga postures into the body, into the system. So ideally, a Shavasana lasts at least 5 minutes. but you can always stay longer, like 10 or 15 minutes, to really give yourself this time. It's our little nurturing self-care moment. So you worked really hard here. I think you did an awesome job. It's so great to start something new, and it's even so exciting to be a beginner in something. Heaps of people are often scared to do this first step basically, but it's such an awesome thing to do. Usually it's you just gain from those kind of experiences. So yeah, you can just stay here now for as long as you like. Just keep relaxing, keep softening, maybe remembering what I try to teach throughout the whole class, that the inhalation is a little rising. You might feel the rising of the chest, the belly here while you're laying on the ground. The exhalation is a grounding and softening, almost washing through the body like a wave, letting the whole body become heavy and relaxed. So you can stay now here as long as you like. I'm gonna leave you here now. Just bring my palms up towards my third eye center. I'm so grateful that you joined me here today. If you liked this class, feel free to pop on my YouTube channel and check out some more classes I'm offering. And now the only thing left to say is I wish you the most beautiful rest of the day, and namaste. The light in me honors the light in you.